Hi, Karen Flaherty here from Living by Human Design. Hope you're doing well today. And today we're going to be talking about the gate 39, which typically is called the gate of provocation. Here we go. So we've got the gate 39, the gate of provocation, and it started July 1st, and it'll go until July 6th, and basically encompassing the entire 4th of July weekend in the United States. So good luck with that. But this happens all the time. We are actually a country that was started in the gate 39, in the sun gate of 39. If we were to draw a chart of the United States, it started July 4th, 1776 in the sun gate 39. And so this is who we are. Also, the Earth would have been and is this week in the gate 38, which is the fighter, knowing what's worth fighting for. And so we start with these, with two centers defined this week, and they will be defined for the entire week. And it's kind of, again, emotional. So we've got the root center defined, and we've got the solar plexus defined again. And the 3955 is the channel of emoting, and it is the one of the individual channels that create a solar plexus emotional wave for people. Not everybody, even who's emotional, is going to have this wave. So it's interesting in that respect that it's a very emotional type of energy. So my gentle suggestion is just beware this week, because everyone is going to be feeling relatively emotional, and it is a very individual wave, and it is the kind of thing that everybody will express in a different way if they're feeling it. And for those of us, for some people do have it in their charts, of course, and they won't really feel much, but the rest of us will. The rest of us will feel emotional. We will be somewhat grounded by the root center, but that emotional solar plexus usually, how shall I say this? It's usually more dominant than the root center at that point, right? The emotions usually take precedence over the groundedness, and that can be that can create waves for anybody. That can create emotional waves for anybody, and of course, two people coming together with that emotional energy can be fireworks. So there you go. And we will have fireworks this weekend. So conscious, be aware, be restrained if at all possible, and do your best to have a good time. So I just wanted to mention that the gate 38 is right here, coming off the left side of the root center, and the 39 is on the right side. And so the gate 38, again, is the gate of the fighter and knowing what's worth fighting for. And the gate 39 is over here. So again, these are both, while they, the root center can be about groundedness, both of these gates are actually stressful. They're about, even Richard Rudd says that the gate 39, is the cause of all human conflict, the cause of violence in the world. It's that provocation that creates, conflict, that creates enemies, that creates wars, that creates, all kinds of upsets in cultures, in tribes, in countries, between continents. It just goes on. And it's all about the provocation that occurs as a result of the gate 39. So it's a big energy. It's a big, this entire channel is a big energy as the channel of emoting. And it is connected to the 55. The whole reason for it is that the whole reason for the 39 and the provocation is literally to get people closer to the 55, which is all about abundance, which is all about health and wealth and friends and family and the sun and the water and the air. It's all this stuff, or the wonderful things in life that are free, actually. And the idea of the provocation is to get people closer to those abundant things in life. We don't always do that. So that's the irony of it. But the fact is, the goal is the abundance. So with this gate of provocation, it's also called the gate of obstruction or provocation in the original I Ching, and it's the value of obstruction in provoking analysis, assessment, and reevaluation. So that's what it's there for. That's the idea of it, but it doesn't always turn out that way. And so, in the incarnation crosses, we actually do call it the cross of tension, the cross of provocation, or the cross of individualism. And we'll talk about the gene keys in a moment. The gate 38 is the gate of the fighter. It's knowing what's worth fighting for. It's in the I Ching, it's called opposition or the fighter. But it's really the ability to preserve individual integrity through opposition to detrimental forces. So having a fight, but knowing what's worth fighting for. In other words, not picking a fight for every single issue in your life, but wondering and figuring out and assessing the ones that really do make a difference and going after those. So it's like not having every single argument you could have at the Thanksgiving dinner, but having the ones that really make a difference to you or not. In the gene keys, struggle is the shadow of the fighter, perseverance is the gift, and honor is the CD. And so, as Richard Rudd says, liberation is about being free from provocation. That's a real freedom when we can be in that kind of liberation. And he says, well, here, provocation is actually the shadow energy of this gate. Dynamism is the gift. In other words, making changes that affect everyone and are, for lack of a better word, wholesome and holistic and taking into account what everybody needs, as opposed to just poking at people. And that's what we mean by provocation, by the way. We mean, by provocation, I mean, so literally provoking someone, whether you tease them or nudge them or push their buttons, right? That's a big thing for people, that they can push other people's buttons. That's a provocation, certainly. But that provocation is always just to, if you imagine a glass of water and it's full to the top and it's got that little bubble of water over it, and then you blow on it, right? If you were to blow on that water, it would move. That's the idea of provocation. Just, bursting the bubble in a way to create a change and to change perhaps the status quo in a gentle way. But that's what provocation is really about. It shouldn't be nasty conflicts and big wars or any kind of war for that matter, or things that hurt other people. As I mentioned earlier, Richard Rudd says that this gate is actually the cause of all violence in the world. So wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have the wars and the gun violence and the terrorist organizations and things of that nature? What good does it do? It's not provocation anymore. It's much more than that. But this gate is not about violence, but provocation can absolutely bring violence, and that's why it's considered to be the shadow. Dynamism is the gift, where we're balancing and figuring out and doing a gentle provoking, if you will. And then liberation, he says, only in giving up the illusion of your individual freedom can you receive an even greater gift, which is the liberation of being. And what he means there is that once we realize that we're all connected, that there is no individual freedom, that we're all connected, everybody has freedom or no one has freedom. Everyone has justice or no one has justice. Everyone has liberation or no one has liberation. We have to be included to have all of this. We have to be inclusive to have this if we want to be working together as a community, as a culture, as a country, as a world. It's all possible, but we've got a lot of work to do to get there. So this week we've got a number of different people who represent the cross of tension or provocation or individualism. And you can see that there are a number of people who have made a difference in the world, who did either provoke or change or revolutionize different things, including the US Constitution, which was, as I said, born in this gate. Tom Cruise, Pierre Cardin, the Dalai Lama, President George W. Bush, who started the war in Iraq famously after 9/11, and Ringo Starr, who's had his own bit of revolution. I'm not sure if he wrote the song Revolution itself. I think that might have been John Lennon, but Ringo was definitely involved in a musical revolution there. And Henry VIII, of course, who definitely provoked a few of his wives. So we've got just a few things happening this week because it is such a week filled with holidays and time off at the relative beginning of the summer. And so we've got on July 2nd in 1964, the Civil Rights Act was signed into law by President Johnson. Of course, in July 4th in 1776, the United States Declaration of Independence was signed and created the country as we know it at that time. In 1959 and 1960, we admitted the states of Alaska and Hawaii into the United States, and in 1930, construction began on the Hoover Dam. So there were a lot of some things happening, not as many as some other weeks, but of course the big one is our 4th of July holiday. I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July holiday. Do be aware of the energies. Some people will be feeling more provoked than others. Some people will be provoking more than others, and you might be surprised by who is on which side of the coin this week. So have a great week. Have a great holiday if you're celebrating in the United States, and have a great weekend if you're not. Take care. Bye.